Welcome back to another video, guys. This is a kind of a follow-up to the cascade video that I did a couple of days ago. So it's carrying on with the cascade theme, but in that first video I mentioned that I was going to pick up a tree. A friend of mine had a tree off me a few years back and needed repotting, looking over. This is the little baby. He's quite nice. He's quite nice. He's kept the original shape quite well. It's not looking too bad. He did send me some photos, but you can never really tell in the photos. It does look a bit spindly, but that's obviously down to the size of the pot. He's in the original kind of training pot that I put him in years ago, which we'll get back to in a minute. So yeah, it's not looking too bad. There's no severe areas of dieback. As I say, it does look a bit sparse, but it looks very evenly sparsed, if that makes sense. So there's no areas where it's like really struggling. It's just struggling all over, which tells me basically the pot, well, it's obvious, it needs repotting. I know it does. It is a bit late in the year to do a repot, but I think it's going to have to be done. A couple of reasons. First one being that the pot is actually cracked and fractured in many places. So there's a good chance that if we have a frost, it's got a nasty one right down here, and all around here. Yeah, there's a good chance if we have a frost, it will probably give up anyway, which you don't want midwinter, really. You don't want to be emergency repotting in midwinter. So I think that's the first reason. Second reason is I'm not really going to touch the roots that much. I'm going to kind of slip pot it, so the roots won't be disturbed. I'll clean up the top because I want to raise it up a little bit, just so that this cascading branch clears the new pot it goes into. This is the new pot. I picked this one up from Devon Bonsai, and I think it's a good size for it. It's not overly big, but it's not anywhere near the size of this little tiny thing. It does touch ground level. I've offered it in and played around with it. It does touch a little bit on this lower part, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that one off, take this leader off. This is the strongest branch that I can see. It's got little cones coming on it. The foliage is looking and feeling a lot healthier. Yeah, quite dry and spiky up here. This is a lot softer, which tells me that this is recent growth. So by taking that off, it will push energy back into the tree. And I think it is a little bit elongated. And we've got a separation down here of 2. So we can continue either this one or this one as the leader. But by taking that off, it should fit in this pot quite nicely. Because this was sat on a windowsill, so it's always been in a position where it had to be elevated to compensate for this cascade branch. Great if you've got a stand or anything, but if you can get it in a pot where you're relying on the pot to do it, it's a lot better. This makes it more stable as well. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to repot it into this little unglazed Japanese pot. I'm not going to do an awful lot of pruning. All I'm going to do is take out the dead. I'm going to leave the branches, I'm not going to wire a lot. All I'm going to do is pull down the apex just to take this arrowhead off. If you can see it, it's quite pointy. It's quite direct back. It just needs bringing down, and we can level it all off. It's got this nice spiral effect in there, which we can use to build a nice apex. This top bit will come in and fill. It will just round it off a little bit better on the top. I may wire a couple of these ones just to give it a bit of movement in these branches, but apart from that, that's it. As I say, I was really unsure when he sent me the message and even the photos, because you can never tell in photos. But all in all, it is looking good. It is quite well balanced. It just needs to go in a bigger pot. Just needs to create more roots, and just to move it on. This time next year, it will be fantastic. It'll have really fresh growth on it. I think the next stage, we'll get them out of this pot. Now also, I don't want to touch the roots. I don't want to disturb them. I'm not going to rake them out. I'm not going to get a knife in there. So the best thing to do, I sometimes use a hammer, but I do find the axe is a bit heavier, so you're going to have to whack it so hard. Right, here we go. Just give it a tap. Just got to be very careful with this stuff, because it does get quite sharp. I'm guessing it's going to be super root bound. Should have gloves on, really. Health and safety at its best. That's razor sharp. Let's get rid of this moss on top and just see what we're looking at. Just going to clean up this trunk. So, because I'm going to get some wire on this. Bring this apex down. Just give it a clean. Not too bad actually. These roots are looking really healthy actually. So I think it is just literally the fact that it's pot bound. I think once this tree goes into a bigger pot, these roots are just going to go whooshing. I'm going to get rid of all this before I do myself an injury, because it's proper razor sharp. Look at that. You wouldn't want to stand on that, would you? Ooh. Right, anyway, I've had my fun with the axe. Blooming dog disappeared. Thought it went quiet. Went up the road. Right, okay, and I made myself a coffee because she stressed me out. Well, not stressed me out, but she's an absolute bugger. She disappears. She don't go very far, but she's good at hiding. Yeah. Right, anyway, back in the room. That's probably the best front. Okay, cascade, you don't have to pick a front or flat side. You can have it on an angle, diagonal. But I do find that if you have it on a diagonal, it gets in the way of the cascading branch, because the angle of the pot's out like that, so it's further. It's not there, it's there, so it can hinder the branch. See that? Get rid of that one. Like in that. Back in a minute. Right. So I've just put some smaller akadama on the surface just to dress it, giving it a nice lip on the top. It's looking good, but yeah, it just needs balancing. I was looking at some of these branches. I was keeping a couple of these to bring forward to give it a bit of depth from a side view, but I think by the time this puts on foliage, these are going to shade out the more important branches, and we can come off of these and fill the front. So we're just going to take that one out, that one, right, all done. Balance this out a little bit more. I did take that one out. I was looking at it and I'm thinking the way it's going to be positioned in the garden, it would have shaded this area, and these two are looking very sad for themselves. So I took them out. We can always fill that as these grow, but these are important. Needed to keep these. We need maximum light in there to strengthen them up. So yeah, he's looking good. He's not bad. He's not bad. Once he puts on a bit of growth, get the apex strong, get this better balanced on the cascade, yeah, he's going to be a lovely little tree. A little bit more compact, but I think it suits the style. The trunk looks thicker now for doing that. The pot, I think, has certainly helped. So yeah, and we just want them roots to thicken up in that horrible root mass. We want all this area of the pot, all the outside area to fill up, to thicken the roots up in here, and then we can rake them and do less damage. Then they're all a bit spindly and fine at the minute, but yeah, turned out all right, I thought. Right, I'll love you and leave you, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers guys.